Imagine stepping on the gas pedal of a sports car, right? You are like totally ready to leave the past and the dust, but then you realize you are sinking into 3 feet of thick, heavy mud.
Oh, yeah. That is the exact friction the universe is throwing at you this week.
It is so frustrating. Well, welcome back to Horoscope TV. I am just thrilled to jump into the astro charts today.
Me too. We have so much to cover.
We really do. Because this one is built exclusively for the zodiac sign of Aquarius.
Yes, strictly Aquarius energy today.
So if you are an Aquarius or, if you have heavy Aquarius placements in your astrological charts, you really need to pay close attention.
Absolutely.
We are covering the very eventful, highly action-packed period from June 29 to July 5, 2026.
And it is a massive week.
It is. And the reason you absolutely must tune in is that you are stepping into a week of massive life changes.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking explosive bursts of creative genius.
Right. Alongside some truly deep personal reflection.
Exactly. By analyzing the astro data for this specific week, we're going to give you the ultimate roadmap.
Your survival guide, really.
Yeah, your guide to getting through these intense shifts, avoiding some really messy workplace conflicts, and making the most of a beautiful wave of romantic energy that is heading your way.
It really is a huge week. When we analyze the astro charts for you, Aquarius, the overall theme is walking a very thin line.
A thin line. How so?
Well, you are going to be balancing these sudden electric breakthroughs in your mind, in your career, with the absolute need for serious mental rest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and very clear communication. It is a week of extreme highs and really heavy lows.
That sounds like a roller coaster.
It is, kind
Yeah.
of. But if you understand the pattern in the charts, you can completely use it to your advantage.
Well, I want to stop you right there and start breaking this down.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned heavy lows, and that ties into what is happening right at the start on June 29th.
Yes, the full moon.
Right, we have a full moon in Capricorn. Now, I always thought full moons were about like peak energy, celebration, outward action.
Right, howling at the moon, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But you were telling me this one is demanding closure and looking at hidden hurts.
I am, yeah.
How does the moon being in Capricorn completely flip that script?
That is a great question, because we do usually think of full moons as big, loud parties. But the flavor of the full moon depends entirely on what sign it sits in.
Okay, so Capricorn changes the flavor.
Exactly. Capricorn is an earth sign. It is very grounded, very practical, and it absolutely does not let you escape from reality.
No running away then.
None.
Yeah.
Think of the symbol for Capricorn, right? The mountain goat. It slowly and carefully climbs the rocky mountain. There is no skipping steps.
Right.
So for you, Aquarius, this Capricorn full moon lands directly in your zone of secrets, hidden things, and closure.
Oh, wow. So no loud party.
No party at all. Instead, this moon is shining a very bright, unforgiving spotlight right into the darkest corners of your emotional closet.
That sounds intense.
It is. It is demanding that you let go of past hurts.
Wait, why is that so hard for an Aquarius, though? I mean, everyone has past hurts. Why is this specific chart placement hitting them so heavily right now?
Well, it is because of how the Aquarius mind is wired. As an Aquarius, you are an air sign. You like to live in your ideas.
Like in the future?
Yes, in the future, in your brilliant visions of tomorrow. You are a forward-looking sign. You do not always like to sit in the messy, heavy, earthy feelings of the past.
It probably feels slow to them.
Exactly. It feels slow and unproductive to you. But the Capricorn energy in the astro data says, no, you have to look at this.
You can't just skip it.
Right. You might be trying to run forward, but holding on to emotional baggage or, say, guilt from a past financial mistake. It acts exactly like a heavy anchor.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, you just cannot move into the future you are dreaming about if you are dragging that anchor behind you.
So it is basically forcing a cleanup. It is like, say you want to reinvent your personal style, right?
Okay.
And you go shopping, but you come home and you literally cannot hang up your new clothes because your closet is completely stuffed with coats you haven't worn in 10 years.
That is a perfect analogy.
You have to throw out the old junk to make room for the new stuff.
Yes, and the charts are very specific about what kind of old junk we are talking about here.
What kind is it?
It is often tied to financial fears or old betrayals. The astro charts demand you release old financial fears to prepare for a fresh start.
Okay, give me a real-world example of what releasing that fear looks like. Because, letting go sounds great on a bumper sticker.
Right, it is easy to say.
But what does an Aquarius actually do on June 29 to make this happen?
Well, it happens in very small, practical moments. Because Capricorn is practical. So letting go of past hurts Doesn't have to be a giant, dramatic crying session.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as finally going into your phone and deleting a text thread from someone who betrayed your trust a year ago.
Oh, I know people who hoard old text messages.
Exactly. It is just sitting in your phone, taking up space in your mind. Delete it.
Just hit delete. And what about the money stuff?
Or regarding the financial side, maybe you made a bad investment a few years ago, or you racked up a credit card bill, and you beat yourself up about it every time you look at your bank account.
Oh, the financial guilt is so real.
It is. But this Capricorn full moon is telling you the guilt has no practical use anymore.
It's just slowing you down.
Right. Stop the guilt, look at the bank account, accept where you are, and release the shame.
Okay, so we are throwing out the emotional trash, deleting the texts, forgiving ourselves for buying that expensive thing we didn't need.
Exactly. Clear the slate.
We clear the slate. But just as Aquarius gets ready to sprint forward into that empty, clean space, the sky throws up a massive roadblock.
Yeah, it really does.
I am looking at the astro data for the middle of the week, and it looks like a traffic jam.
It is a cosmic traffic jam, yes.
Because on that exact same day, June 29, Mercury goes retrograde, and then on July 2, Mars squares the node and Jupiter squares Chiron.
It is a lot of harsh energy.
Explain the mechanics of this because it just sounds like a mess.
It is a lot of cosmic traffic colliding at once. Let's analyze these three distinct events because they create this hurdle effect right in the middle of your week.
Okay, starting with Mercury.
First, Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules how we talk, how we travel, and our daily routines.
Like day-to-day stuff.
Exactly. When it goes retrograde, meaning it looks like it is moving backward from our view on Earth, those normal, everyday areas of life get scrambled.
So what does that mean for an Aquarius?
Well, it brings a very annoying layer of confusion right to your daily routine. You have to double-check all your work tasks because there will be frustrating delays.
We are talking about the classic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Missed alarms, emails that get stuck in the outbox, dropping your keys down the elevator shaft.
Precisely. It makes the physical world feel like you are walking through thick mud.
Ugh, the worst.
But that is just the background noise. The real tension arrives on July 2.
Okay, what happens on July 2?
Mars clashes with the node in what we call a square.
Hold on, I want to make sure everyone follows this. What actually happens when planets square each other? Why is that bad?
Think of a square, like two cars arriving at a four-way intersection.
Okay.
But the traffic lights are broken. They are coming from different directions. They both want to go straight, and if neither stops, they crash.
Oh, yikes. So it creates friction.
Exactly. It creates friction. Now, Mars is the planet of action, speed, and drive. It wants to push forward.
And what is the node?
The node represents your forward path or the current rules of your environment. So when they crash at this intersection, it brings a sudden conflict between your brilliant creative ideas and what authority figures like your boss actually want from you.
Oh, that is the classic struggle, right?
Yes, your forward-thinking Aquarius vision clashing directly with a boss's traditional expectations.
That is literally the most frustrating feeling in the world.
Yeah.
As an Aquarius, you can see the future, you know your idea is better, but the boss is stuck in the past.
Yes, it is incredibly annoying.
But it doesn't stop there, does it? You mentioned Jupiter and Chiron also crash at the same time.
They do.
Jupiter is the planet of luck and good things, so how does Jupiter make things worse?
Well, because Jupiter is also the planet of expansion, it acts like a giant magnifying glass.
Oh, I see.
Whatever it touches, it makes it much, much bigger. And Chiron represents an old, unhealed wound.
So Jupiter makes the wound bigger.
Exactly. When expansive Jupiter squares off with wounded Chiron, it does not bring luck. It takes a tiny old insecurity and blows it up to look like a massive threat.
Wow.
Significantly for you this week, the astro data shows an old financial insecurity might briefly return to bother you.
Okay, let's put all three of these transits into a single real-world story so we can really see how this hurdle effect plays out.
Okay, let's do it.
Imagine you were at work on July 2. You have managed to survive the muddy Mercury retrograde all morning.
Right, your computer crashed twice, you spilled coffee on your desk.
Exactly. You finally go into a big meeting and you pitch this brilliant, out-of-the-box idea to your boss. You know it will save the company time.
Because you are an Aquarius.
Yes, but your boss shoots it down completely right in front of everyone. They reject it. They say, well, we do things the old way here.
Ouch! That is the Mars and node crash.
Right. So you walk out of the meeting feeling totally defeated, and suddenly, because your confidence is shaken, you start panicking about your job security.
The panic sets in.
And that panic makes you think about, a past debt or a time you were really broke years ago. Even though you are doing absolutely fine with your money right now, you suddenly feel like you're going to lose everything.
Yes. That is the Jupiter and Chiron crash.
That's just a snowball of bad feelings.
That is exactly how these three events layer on top of each other in the charts. The daily annoyance of Mercury, the authority clash of Mars in the node, and the triggered financial fear from Jupiter and Chiron.
It's a psychological chain reaction.
It really is.
It is so unfair. If Mercury retrograde is like driving a car through thick mud, that boss conflict on July 2 is basically like someone dropping a giant concrete roadblock right in front of you while you are already stuck.
Yes, a literal roadblock.
And the Jupiter transit is the voice in your head telling you that you are never going to get out of the mud.
It is incredibly unfair, and it builds up a huge amount of internal pressure.
I can imagine.
You are trying to push forward, the world is pushing back, your fast Aquarius mind is racing to find a solution, and that pressure leads us directly into the most mentally exhausting moment of the entire week.
Which also happens on July 2.
Yes, all on July 2?
Yes, I was looking at the charts you brought, and there's a phrase in here that sounds terrifying. It says Aquarius is experiencing a besieged transit.
I know, it sounds scary.
We need to clear this up because besieged sounds like an army is attacking your house. What does that actually mean for the listener?
I will explain it using simple terms because while it sounds scary, it is just a very specific type of pressure that requires your attention.
Okay, break it down.
In astrological charts, being besieged means your sign is squeezed between two difficult planetary forces.
Like being in a vice grip.
More like being a deep-sea diver. Think about a diver going way down into the ocean.
Oh, right, the water pressure.
The pressure of the water on all sides is immense. It pushes in on you from every angle. That is what those difficult planets are doing. They are squeezing your energy.
Wow.
It brings a heavy feeling of pressure and intense mental stress.
So on top of the boss rejecting your idea and the muddy routine, you just feel this physical heavyweight on your chest.
Yes.
But how does that specifically mess with the Aquarius brain?
Well, if we look at how the Aquarius mind works, you love to process information. Your brain is always active, always analyzing data, always trying to solve the puzzle.
They are big thinkers.
Exactly. You think your way out of problems. But during this besieged window on July 2, you cannot think your way out. The pressure is too high.
So what happens if they try?
If you try, your mind will go into overdrive and completely burn out. If you are that deep-sea diver and you panic and try to swim to the surface too fast, you get hurt.
You get the bends.
Right. You literally have to just sit in the dark, manage your breathing, and let your body adjust to the pressure. The strict advice here from the charts is to take a break. You must prioritize deep rest.
But telling an Aquarius to stop thinking is like telling a bird to stop flying. It is their nature.
It is very hard for them, yes.
How do you actually do that when the pressure is on? We need to give some really practical ways to step away from the stress.
It is very hard for an air sign, but you have to bring your energy out of your spinning head and put it back into your physical body.
How do they do that?
It means turning off the phone. Do not just put it on silent. Literally power it down so you cannot check your emails or read the news.
Unplug completely.
Yes. Go for a quiet walk, but do not listen to a podcast or music. Listen to the actual wind.
Oh, nice.
Or, honestly, just get an extra hour of sleep. Taking a nap on July 2 is actually a highly productive move.
A nap?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. It is not being lazy. It is basic self-protection.
I have to say, I love the idea that taking a nap is a productive strategy. It reminds me of how we treat our technology.
How so?
Well, the Aquarius mind is basically like a high-powered computer. And on July 2, you have way too many heavy programs running at once.
That is true.
You have the work problem program, the financial worry program, the Mercury retrograde glitch program, the fan is spinning super loud, the laptop is burning hot.
It's overheating.
Exactly. If you don't manually shut it down for a system update, the whole computer is going to freeze and crash. So July 2 is basically the mandatory restart day.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
Yeah.
You have to force the shutdown so the system can cool off.
Such a good visual.
And what is really interesting in the astro data is that taking that rest on July 2 is the exact preparation you need.
Oh.
Because if you rest, your system will be completely ready to handle the massive, explosive wave of energy that arrives just 2 days later. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so ready for the good news. Let's move into July 4 because this sounds like the payoff for all that hard work.
It really is.
On July 4, Mars meets your ruling planet, Uranus. You noted in the charts that this is the biggest day of the week. Break down exactly what is happening here.
This is a spectacular day. This is an explosive meeting in the sky. Mars represents action, fire, drive, and speed.
And Uranus.
Uranus is the planet of rebellion, sudden shifts, and most importantly, it is the ruling planet of Aquarius.
So there's their home turf.
That means Uranus is your home base. It is the planet that gives you your unique, quirky, brilliant personality.
So when the planet of action crashes into your personal planet of brilliance, what happens?
It creates a huge spark. It brings sudden, brilliant ideas, total freedom from the things holding you back, and a stroke of pure genius that can completely revolutionize a work project or a personal goal.
Wow.
The heavy pressure from July 2 just vanishes.
So that giant concrete roadblock the boss put up gets blown into a million pieces?
They're completely destroyed.
But wait, you put a warning note in here about nervous energy. If this is such a great combination, why is there a warning?
Well, because it is a highly intense mix of energy. Mars and Uranus together generate a massive boost of physical and mental electricity in your body.
Like actual energy.
It is literally like having lightning running through your veins. This energy absolutely must be channeled into fun physical activity to clear the mind.
Okay, so you can't just sit around.
No. If you just sit still on the couch on July 4, that electric energy has nowhere to go. It will turn into severe anxiety. You will feel incredibly restless and jittery.
Okay, let's paint a picture of how to use this eureka moment the right way.
Yes.
Let's say you wake up on the morning of July 4. You feel that nervous, buzzing energy in your chest. Instead of sitting there drinking coffee and worrying, you decide to go for a long, fast run.
Which is exactly what the charts recommend to burn it off.
Right. You are out there running. The blood is pumping. You are sweating. You are trying to force any thoughts. And suddenly, right in the middle of the run, boom, a lightning bolt of an idea hits you.
Yes.
You figure out exactly how to fix that broken project your boss rejected on Tuesday. But you figure it out in a way that is so innovative, so undeniably brilliant, that when you bring it back to them, they won't be able to say no.
That is the exact right way to use this chart, because following your unique vision and standing out from the crowd is the ultimate key to success here.
Do not try to blend in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do not try to blend in on July 4. Uranus rewards the weird, the different, the rebellious.
Now, what about this part of the chart that mentions a sudden expense? Usually when people hear sudden expense, they think their car engine blew up or their roof is leaking.
Oh, right. Usually it's bad.
Is that what is happening?
Not at all. With Jupiter also acting in the charts, this sudden expense isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, good. What is it then?
It is more about a sudden urge to spend money on freedom. It might be that after your run, you feel so inspired and alive that you book a spontaneous weekend trip to a city you've never visited.
Oh, I love that.
Or you suddenly decide to buy a new, expensive piece of gear for a passion project you want to start right now. It is spending money to fuel your sudden burst of inspiration.
I see. It is like that lightning bolt hitting a city power grid.
Yeah, good analogy.
If you just let it hit the wires with nowhere to go, it fries the circuits, which is that overwhelming nervous energy and anxiety you feel if you just sit around.
Exactly.
But if you channel it right, if you route that lightning into a battery, it can light up the entire city. It fuels your projects.
You have to move your body, and you act on your inspiration without second-guessing yourself. You embrace the sudden changes instead of resisting them.
That sounds amazing.
And what is truly amazing about this week is that all of this brilliant electric energy radiating from you on July 4 is bound to attract some serious attention. People notice when you are lit up like that. And that completely changes your social and romantic landscape.
Oh, let's definitely get into the romance because the charts are showing some major action here.
Huge action.
We have a few movements in the sky contributing to a really magnetic pull. On June 30, Jupiter enters Leo. On July 2, Venus connects with Lilith. And by July 5, Mars connects with Neptune.
It's a lot.
That sounds like a complete roller coaster of love. Let's start with Jupiter entering Leo. Why is that a big deal for an Aquarius?
It is incredible news for relationships. In astrological charts, the zodiac wheel is a circle, right?
Right.
Well, Leo sits directly across the circle from Aquarius. That opposite position always represents your relationship zone, your partnerships, the people you commit to.
So Leo is their relationship zone.
Yes. So Jupiter, which we already know is the planet of immense joy, luck, and expansion, is moving right into your relationship zone.
Oh, wow.
It is shining a massive, warm spotlight on your partnerships. It brings joy and positive growth.
That is wonderful.
It could even mean chances to increase your income through a business partnership because Jupiter loves to expand wealth.
Wow, so love and money are getting a boost from Jupiter in your relationship house. But what about this Venus and Lilith connection on July 2?
That one is fun.
I know Venus is the planet of love and beauty, but what exactly is Lilith? I don't hear that name very often.
Lilith is a fascinating point in the astrodata. Lilith represents our raw, unfiltered, wild nature.
Wild nature.
It is the part of us that absolutely refuses to be tamed or controlled by society's rules.
Oh, I like that.
When Venus, the planet of attraction, forms a smooth, supportive angle with wild Lilith, it makes you feel deeply attractive and totally fearless in romance.
Fearless.
You are not apologizing for who you are. You're not trying to be polite or traditional. This is a fantastic time for single people to meet someone who truly gets their unique, eccentric vibe.
I love that fearless energy. It's like you stop caring about playing the dating games and just show up as your weirdest, most authentic self.
Exactly. You just are who you are.
But the weekend's on a totally different note, right? Mars and Neptune on July 5.
Yes. We contrast that fearless, wild attraction from early in the week with the soft, soothing, dreamy peace that Neptune brings by July 5.
So it calms down.
Neptune is the planet of dreams, poetry, and spiritual connection. So by the end of the week, the intense romantic fire turns into a very sweet, gentle, dreamy connection.
That sounds lovely. But I need to throw out a crucial warning here based on the charts.
Yes, the warning.
You cannot forget about our annoying friend, Mercury retrograde, which started back on June 29.
It's still there.
Because of that retrograde messing with daily details, you must be very clear when communicating with your partner to avoid misunderstandings, despite all this great, warm, romantic energy.
This raises a very important point. You can have all the love, attraction, and luck in the world from Jupiter and Venus, but if the communication is scrambled by Mercury, it causes unnecessary problems.
Let's look at what this actually looks like for the listeners, because the single and coupled experiences are going to be different. If you are single, this fearless Venus and Lilith energy means you might boldly wear something totally unusual out to a coffee shop.
Yes.
You aren't trying to fit in. You are wearing bright colors, mismatched patterns, whatever makes you feel alive. And because you are so authentically yourself, you catch the eye of someone who loves exactly that about you.
That is the perfect Lilith manifestation.
But if you are in a couple, it is a bit different. You might feel this sudden rush of warmth and shared laughter because of Jupiter. You are having a great morning together.
Sounds perfect so far.
You have to be so careful. You might go to work, and while you are rushing around, you quickly type out a vague, confusing text message to your partner about dinner plans.
Oh, no.
And because of Mercury retrograde, your partner reads it completely wrong, thinks you are annoyed with them, and it sparks a silly argument out of nowhere and ruins the evening.
Exactly. It is a matter of slowing down the communication while allowing the big feelings to flow naturally.
It sounds like you have a superpower of attraction right now, but you are speaking into a broken microphone.
That is a great way to put it.
How do we balance feeling completely fearless in love while still having to over-explain ourselves so our partner actually understands what we mean?
The key is extreme patience. Enjoy the feeling, enjoy the magnetic pull of the week, but take an extra 5 seconds to read over your text message before you hit send.
Just double-check it.
Ask your partner, did that make sense? Or just to be clear, I meant it this way. That tiny bit of extra effort prevents the retrograde from ruining the beautiful warmth that Jupiter is trying to give you.
That makes total sense.
And speaking of communication and connection, the astro charts are very clear about exactly who you should be spending your time with this week and who you should absolutely avoid.
Yes. I always find this part so fascinating because it gives us a real cheat sheet for navigating our social circles.
It really does.
Let's start with the good stuff. Who is the absolute best match for an Aquarius this week?
The best match for you this week, hands down, is Gemini.
Why Gemini?
Oh.
What makes them the perfect partner in crime right now?
When we analyze the elements of astrology, Aquarius and Gemini are both air signs.
Oh, right.
Air signs thrive on fast thoughts, freedom, exchanging ideas, and laughter. They don't want to sit still.
They like to keep moving.
On July 4, when Mars and Uranus join forces and create that explosive lightning bolt, they're actually doing so in the sign of Gemini.
Really?
Yes. This lights up your specific zone of fun, romance, and creativity. A Gemini partner, or even just a Gemini best friend or coworker, completely matches your inventive mind this week. They love wild ideas just as much as you do.
And what about dealing with that pesky Mercury retrograde? Do they help with that?
That is the best part. While everyone else is getting deeply frustrated by the miscommunications and the delays, you and a Gemini will find silly, humorous ways to communicate.
You just laugh it off.
Exactly. You will laugh at the dropped phone calls and the bad internet connections instead of getting angry. Plus, the Venus and Lilith connection on July 2 will bring you two closer together, likely through a shared social circle or a group event.
That sounds like exactly the kind of energy we need. Now, flip the coin. Who is the worst match this week? Who do we need to politely ignore?
The charts strongly suggest avoiding Taurus energy this week.
A Taurus. Okay, explain the mechanics of why we are avoiding the bull.
It comes down to how your core energies clash during these specific planetary movements. Taurus is an earth sign. They are fixed.
Meaning they like things to stay the same.
Exactly. They value stability, routine, and tradition above all else. They do not like sudden shifts.
Okay, I see the problem already.
Remember that July 2 Jupiter and Chiron crash that brings up old financial fears and grudges?
Yeah, the one that makes you panic.
That crash happens directly in the sign of Taurus. This means a Taurus partner or friend will be highly prone to holding grudges this week.
Yikes.
You, as an Aquarius, want to look to the future and try new things. They will demand that you stay fixed in the old traditional ways.
Oh, I see where this is going. On July 4, we have that explosive electric energy where we want total freedom and rebellion. The Taurus is not going to like that at all, are they?
Not at all. On July 4, when you are filled with Uranus's change-hungry, rebellious energy, a Taurus's stubborn refusal to change anything will make you feel completely suffocated.
Suffocated. That is a strong word.
It is true, though. Trying to find a compromise with them this week is an impossible task.
Yeah.
It will only waste your valuable mental energy, which we already established earlier that you desperately need to protect.
Let's give a real-world scenario for this, because I think everyone has experienced this dynamic.
Let's do it.
Imagine it is the weekend. You have that brilliant, spontaneous July 4 energy. You want to completely change your weekend plans at the last minute and try this bizarre, underground new restaurant across town that you just heard about.
Sounds fun.
That is a total Aquarius and Gemini vibe. A Gemini says, yes, let's go. I'll drive. Let's see what happens.
Exactly.
But a Taurus will outright refuse. They will cross their arms, say they already bought groceries for the meal they planned 3 days ago, and then remind you of a minor mistake you made 3 weeks ago when you were late for dinner.
That is painfully accurate.
It just totally kills the electric vibe you are carrying.
That is exactly how the elements clash. Fixed Earth wants to stay planted and stick to the plan. Electric air wants to fly and see what happens.
It is like going on a road trip. Gemini is the friend hanging out the passenger window, turning up the radio, and suggesting you take a random dirt road just to see where it goes.
I love that.
Taurus is the person in the back seat holding a printed map, demanding you stick strictly to the highway and complaining that you are driving too fast. You just do not want them in the car this week.
Exactly. You need people who fuel your freedom, not people who anchor you to the past.
So true.
And after sorting out who gets a seat in your car, it is time to pack your bags with the exact tools you need to conquer the week.
Which brings us to our final wrap-up, providing the specific tools pulled directly from the astro data to help you maximize the week.
The toolkit.
First, the best gates to take action, July 2 and July 4. Next, your lucky numbers for the week, 11, 18, 29, 33, 46, and 58.
Good numbers.
And the color of the week is electric blue. So let's start with how this week officially ends on July 5 and how we can use these tools to land on our feet.
The week wraps up in a very powerful way. On July 5, Mars forms a trine, which is a highly supportive, easy angle with Pluto.
What does Pluto do?
Pluto is the planet of profound transformation and deep lasting power. This transit gives you the intense power to regain total control of your finances.
Oh, nice. Overcoming that fear from earlier.
Yes, overcoming whatever fear popped up earlier in the week during the Jupiter and Chiron crash, you go from feeling insecure to feeling completely in charge.
That is a big turnaround.
And simultaneously, Mars connects with Neptune again, bringing a soothing wave of peace that completely restores your physical and emotional health after all the stress and excitement of the week.
So it actually resolves beautifully.
Yeah.
You get the power and the peace on the exact same day.
Yes, when we analyze the whole week, it perfectly resolves itself. Think about the arc.
It's a journey.
You start with the heavy emotional cleanup and the confusion of the retrograde on Monday. You face the stressful roadblocks with your boss and your doubts on Tuesday.
And
You experience an explosion of pure genius on Thursday. And finally, by the weekend, you land on ultimate power with Pluto and deep healing with Neptune. It is a complete journey.
And let's talk about the tools, because wearing electric blue makes so much sense now that you explain the charts.
It does, right?
It literally mirrors the energetic, free-thinking lightning bolt frequency of Uranus. It is vibrant, it is a little rebellious, and it stands out. When you wear that color this week, you are literally wearing your ruling planet's energy.
That is a great way to use it.
And listeners can use those lucky numbers 11, 18, 29, 33, 46, 58 in small practical ways to boost their confidence when things get muddy. Maybe you are picking a seat on a flight, or organizing a schedule, or choosing a date for a meeting.
Lean into those numbers.
Exactly. But I have a big question for you. You listed the best dates to take action as July 2 and July 4. I understand July 4, that is the genius breakthrough day.
Right.
But you said July 2 is the day we are besieged, stressed, and getting rejected by the boss. Why in the world is that a best date?
I know it sounds counterintuitive, but taking action to rest and protect yourself on July 2 is the most important victory of the entire week.
Oh, I see.
Leaning into the challenge of July 2 by forcing yourself to stop, powering down the computer, and taking a nap is an action.
A protective action.
Exactly. And if you take that action, you set yourself up for the explosive energy of July 4. Leaning into those 2 days, despite their extreme differences, will yield the absolute biggest rewards. The obstacles in the chart are the path forward.
Okay, let me tie this all together. So we start the week cleaning out the heavy emotional closet and getting rid of the anchor.
Right.
We survive the muddy traffic jams of the daily routine and the frustrating boss. We power down the system before it crashes.
Yes.
Then we get hit by a stroke of genius lightning that fixes our problems. And we end up sitting on a throne of total financial control and inner peace, completely fearless in love.
That is the week.
Honestly, not bad for a single week's work.
Not bad at all. It is a week of massive growth if you navigate it with awareness and patience.
Well, I want to warmly thank you, the listener, for tuning into this episode on Horoscope TV. We absolutely love breaking these charts down for you.
It is always a joy.
Please make sure you hit subscribe so you can get notified the absolute second the next forecast is available for your sign.
It is always a pleasure to look at the charts with you, and I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over based on these planetary movements.
Oh, yes. Leave us with something to think about.
When Uranus hands you total, absolute freedom on July 4, the real question isn't how you will break out of your routine. The real question is, once you are completely free, what is the very first thing you are going to build in that wide open space?